The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast here in amazing. What is that? What is it? You're already shaking your head. Did I disappoint you in some way?
No, it's just about, life just keeps rolling along.
It just keep going.
It just never ends.
The holidays are over. For Christians.
It's like you have it's going to be like the Golden Globes.
That's
the
true.
Golden Globes are January 5th, and your entire life for the last month is the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Then on January 5th, the Golden Globes are going to happen, and then the next day you're going to wake up and your life is just going to continue on.
Yeah. Well, the next day I have to do Stern, and then the next day after that I go to Hawaii, and then the next day then I have to come back for the Critics' Choice Awards, and then I have a special to start preparing for. Like, it's just there's never going to be an end to working.
Yep.
And
that's good.
Yeah. That's good, I guess. Yeah,
I think I'm having an existential crisis with the repetitive nature of the intro to this podcast. I think every time you do it, I go like, "Is this another? What's happening?"
Right. Yes, yeah. It just keeps going. You have to keep.
No, it's okay.
You need sleep every day. You need to eat every day.
Yep.
Like, you're never, like, some people are bothered by eating. I remember, like, someone was like, I hate that I have to eat. Like, it's like, I think Andrew Schultz one night at the Cellar was like, I don't really like to eat. It, like, interferes with my productivity. Like, I have to remember to eat. I'm like, whoa.
That's wild.
It's the only good part of my life is eating.
Eating's amazing.
Yeah, but some people feel like it gets in the way.
I feel that way about showering. If I don't shower in the morning and I have to shower at night, and I'm like, it's just like weighing on me, and it takes like 25 minutes.
Oh, don't even talk to me about. Sorry, we have to blow dry our hair.
Yeah,
that is, or you just look gross.
Yeah, I blow dry my hair too. But I've been doing this thing lately. I don't know if women are onto this, but
I'm sure we've been onto it since the turn of the 16th century.
The towel?
What
is it?
The
towel.
You don't blow dry, and then you just have wet hair for a while, and then like maybe an hour later you blow dry, and it takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it's
interesting.
Yeah, but it can take a shape when it's longer.
Oh yeah,
that's harder to get out.
Oh yeah,
with the blow dry. Mm-hmm. But it really does make all the difference to blow dry your hair. Like, I find as a woman, like, if I just let it air dry, which I do, I would say 80% of the time, it like, you just have to wash it the next day sooner because it gets scraggly and like it just looks like shit, and it's like thin
and like little
frizzy.
spots.
Like, even I got a fucking ad yesterday on my Instagram that was like, do you have curly kind of frizzy hair that when you air dry it, it looks like shit? It was like, how do you know? Like, I don't even post pictures of myself when it looks like that often. But it like knew. It was like, does it get tangly on the bottoms? And then you can't get the hair tie out because it's tangled around. And it was like, it was so targeted just based on some of the pictures it's like scanned about me.
Well, wait till ads get a real handle on AI, because then the ads will be like, hey, Nikki, I've noticed that your hair has been tangled lately in your pictures, and we have this product that actually would fix that exact thing. It'll be like, and it'll be like Taylor Swift's voice.
Yeah,
and you'll talk back to it too. And be like, oh, thank you so much for letting me know. No one else is paying attention to me.
Yeah.
I feel so alone. You're my only friend.
And then there'll be a bunch of comments on the ad like, Nikki should really get this. And then like, your AI will be making their own comments.
And your phone will dry your hair for you.
People, I was thinking yesterday, I got a DM from TMZ, like this girl that works at TMZ that's always just sent me like nice thing. Like, she's just like, hey, you want to comment on this? Or like, whatever. TMZ is like, they're nice people, and a lot of them are like comics and stuff, the people that wait outside. So I'm always just like nice to them if they ever want to, like, they're always asking me inflammatory things. I think in New York they asked me about Luigi, and I was like, I don't want to talk about that guy. Like, I was just like, I'm going to say something that's going to be weird. I was just like, why am I no commenting about Luigi? It made me feel like I had, like, I fucked him or something, like, no comment about it. But I was just like, it's my dog's name that disappoints me, like, my dog used to be the hottest Luigi or whatever. I said something. And, but then yesterday I get a DM that was like, hey, we just got a tip about you, and we're wondering if you would want to comment before we run it. And that, like, I'm not kidding you, like, I almost had a heart attack. I was down in like working on the script. I was like about to go into a writer's meeting upstairs, and I was getting the script ready, and then I'm like, I I truly felt what maybe might feel like a panic attack. And then I'm texting Emily, showing her, I texted Chris, and they're like, call this number if you want to like talk to us about it before we run it. So I sent it to Chris, and Chris is like, I'll call. So he calls the number, and I'm just like, but he's up in the apartment. I'm downstairs. I'm like waiting for the bubbles to come up of like, show me what is it? And he's like, they're calling me back. I got sent to a different guy. I'm like, oh God. And then they finally call back, and it's about a show that taped. They were like, we got a hot tip that Nikki talked a lot of shit about this celebrity at this show taping. And I wasn't on the show taping, and I didn't talk shit about that person, and no one even did on the show. And it was literally the most nothing. I hate when people say nothing burger, but like this is, it was truly nothing. My heart rate.
You're a vegan.
I just was like, I was so.
That is a nothing burger.
I was so calm immediately. But I wrote to Chris, I was like, that was not worth what I just went through. Like, I just got a cardio exercise, but like, I just aged. Like, that was so stressful thinking that like I was going to have to like put out some statement, or like really ultimately it was about like someone might be mad at me, or someone that I'm performing for at the Golden Globes might have heard that I said something about a dress they wore once, or whatever the fuck
one
I
of the
was
jokes
talking
we're
about.
testing.
Even, no, jokes I could stand by, because I'd just be like, they're jokes.
Yeah.
But if it was like something I had told a friend backstage about some celebrity that was rude to me, and like, because I talk shit about celebrities that are pieces of shit, but I'm not famous enough to like be out with that. I will someday. And I think that's relatable. Like, but
people always do that. It is relatable. Like if you go and you fly and you're going over customs, you always think you might have drugs in your bag, or you think.
Oh yeah,
like the most negative. Like I must be doing something wrong. I've done that all the time, and I haven't done cocaine in
when I quit
20
drinking
years.
and I got
I'm like, I have
pulled
so
over.
much coke in my bag.
But if you're going to like Singapore or something, and you had just like some
like a speck of
CBD,
Ambien on your
poster.
shoe.
yeah, you'd get your decapitated.
No, I was just terrified. And I was just like, that was really unnecessary to put my nervous system through. Like I was really shooken up. I felt the effects of it all day long, and it was just 5 minutes of like really like, oh my God. And you know, it's like anything. If you lose your purse, if you're like kid, you kind of lose track of them at the mall for 30 seconds or whatever. Like it was just that kind of thing of like, everything's about to be taken from you. But also I was kind of like, okay, fine, take it. Like I'll be okay.
I was like, TMZ, now I need an EMT, which is Trevor Wallace style joke.
Oh yeah.
Trevor Wallace is listening. I just wrote a good Trevor Wallace style joke.
Yeah, that is a good. Yeah, and then I'll have to do that DMT to get my life back.
And then I'll have to go to then I'm gonna have to go to the DMV and get a new license because I just lost it.
And then I'll be straddling my lives of my sides of my world like I'm on the DMZ.
Damn.
Wow.
And then
The
like
demilitarized zone?
yeah, like if you can't, you can put your foot over it. I think.
Gonna feel like
I've looked over it. I think.
Wait, so you've been in Korea?
Korea, yeah.
Whoa.
I went
to Korea?
Yeah.
South?
Yeah. But I looked into North.
Whoa.
But it was like 2008.
Did
We
you
were
see
performing
anybody?
for the American troops that were stationed over there.
Oh, you did a
it
USO thing.
Yeah. It wasn't USO. It was called Tess's Funny Ladies or something.
Wow, that's a lot more official sounding.
Yeah. It was. I bombed so bad. Like.
Wow.
Was it for the troops?
Yeah, I bombed the troops heavily. It was so because I had to follow the first show. I followed April Macy because I had like recently gotten it was 2009, summer of 2009. I'd gotten a Tonight Show credit, so like I guess they were, you know, the woman organizing the show was like, Nikki should close. She has a Tonight Show credit, and April had been doing it a little bit longer than me. April's just like a fucking
It's a different
beast
skill set,
closer.
too.
Like I wouldn't want to follow her now. Like she's just so good. So April Macy, and she had just done the Last Comic Standing, but they put me after her on the first show. They switched that real quick. I bombed worse than I've ever bombed. Like I could.
North Korea is taking notes.
Yeah,
on Nikki's set. She's like, we gotta fucking put this on a fucking bomb.
He's pointing out my set to his daughter on that little tour. I can't look. But then we had to do a meet and greet afterwards. Like if I bomb, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to see anyone even if I kill after the show. I'm always like scared one person is gonna be like
Ruin the moment.
didn't like it, and they have to pretend because their husband husband wants to meet me, and like it happens. I see it happen. They're never really blatantly rude about it, but I see when people don't want to meet me, where they go, "I'm good. I don't need a picture." And it's not even about like I don't like pictures. I don't, it's like literally I don't like you, and I'm trying to let you know that kind of thing.
That's terrible.
But this, it was. I cried in the bathroom after, and then they switched it, so I went before her, and I ended up having a better time. But that trip was really fun, and Seoul is so clean.
Yeah.
No trash cans anywhere.
Seems to be a common thread in Southeast Asia of all of those
It can
countries.
be done.
In Singapore, yeah, it
We
can
could
be
not
done.
have
What
trash
do
on the
they
street.
do? Do we even
You-
know?
There's
it's
no trash. You
heavy
keep
penalty.
it.
Well, there's two things I think. This is
Oh.
my one is heavy penalties for littering. So
Yeah.
if you in Singapore, if you put trash on the ground, they cut off your hands, literally. No, not literally, but
Then
figuratively.
you
And
got
then what do they
hands
do
on
with
the
the
ground.
hand?
Yeah.
Then they take the hands and they. Yeah,
I love it.
figuratively.
Oh,
No, it's pretty harsh
Not one-
penalties.
Yeah, no trash, but so many hands.
And then second, it's just cultural. There's a thing that they have in
Like
Southeast Asia.
respect or something.
It's close to respect. There's a thing they have in Southeast Asia that we've totally lost in America, and it's called shame. And if you litter, you might be culturally shamed for doing that. Where in America, no one has any shame anymore, and
I am filled with it. If there was a wrapper that fell out of my pocket and someone saw it fall out and I didn't get it, I would then. And if I like found later, like, oh my God, it fell out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Someone might have seen that and thought I did that on purpose. Deep shame for a person that I don't even know saw.
you're in the minority.
You should feel shame if you litter. If you are someone who listens to this podcast and you are someone who puts their fucking cup outside of your car, you clean your car out on the parking lot, and you think putting your cup and everything sitting upright isn't litter, and you just sit there on the yellow line in between the cars, stop listening to this podcast. I do not want you to listen to this.
Yeah.
I think you're a bad person. I think you don't think about anyone but yourself. Someone has to fucking pick that up. And also,
Or not. Or it just blows around forever.
yeah, and I know like it's gonna end up in a landfill anyway. Well, let's just buy the time until the landfills start creeping into society. Can we just keep it a little tidy?
Yeah.
And also, if you're in a bathroom, and I've said this before, and this is something that I have stuck to since I realized it one day. I have never once, literally in the past, I would say 10 years, and this is pretty impressive. Never once have I been in a bathroom and, pulled the toilet paper, which girls have to do every single time. You have to utilize toilet paper. And you sometimes get the strands, which I always think the Ellen DeGeneres joke where she's like, oh, this isn't a time to be celebrating. Like, it looks like party. Like, she's like, this is no time to be celebrating. I always say that. But if a little piece of toilet paper falls onto the floor from me pulling it out, any piece of anything, I will always pick it up. Never once have I been like, it's already a shitty bathroom. It's all over. Not if it's in a urine, like a
10 years running?
10 years.
Whoa.
And if I wash my hands and I use a paper towel and it misses the bin and it falls on the floor, and I used to be someone who was just like, there's a bunch of paper towels on the floor anyway. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I have never once in 10 years since I said, Nikki, if you ever do this again, your career will not go the way you want it to. I made one of those fucking OCD things.
Jeez, yeah.
But it really wasn't about that. It was like, that was to get me to do it. But it's really about, I realized someone has to bend down and pick that up.
Yep.
And I know it's like they're already down there and there's one more thing. It's still one more little lean.
Yeah.
And why am I doing that to that woman's back who's cleaning up this bathroom? Why is that her job to clean up my fucking mess? Her job is to empty the bins.
Mm-hmm.
Her job isn't to pick up my slop because I can't get it in the hole or
Yeah.
because I'm like, it's gross. I don't want to touch the bathroom floor. Neither does she, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, clean up. Stop leaving paper towels everywhere in these bathrooms. Stop leaving your piss all over the toilet
Oh,
seat.
that is-
Stop leaving
Oh, the
little
piss in the-
shredded pieces.
yeah.
If you don't want to touch the ground to pick up a piece of toilet paper, get more toilet paper and pick it up with it like you're picking up dog shit. There's a way to do it sanitarily. Just start being
And for men,
nicer.
stop spitting your gum in the urinal. That's maybe
What?
one of the
I haven't
worst
seen-
things.
oh, wow.
Look
Are
at
you kidding
look
me?
in any urinal. Go to a football stadium and look in a urinal. And men will spit gum in the urinal, and that I've heard from people on interviews
Oh,
or
to
something
clean
when they
that?
interview the cleaning people.
Sure, yeah.
On the
Those
Avance
classic
podcast.
post.
Yeah, they say that the worst possible thing
interviews.
is when someone spits gum in the urinal because
Gum
it's
is
like
disgusting.
impossible to get out and it just ruins everything. If it gets into the drain, forget about it. Then they have to replace the entire urinal.
I think gum is probably a scourge on this planet.
Gum, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, it's all over the sidewalks. It just
Yeah,
like creates
it's
this
like
little
cigarettes.
black mass. Cigarettes, it's like, at least you can pick them up. Gum is
Yeah.
just like, you just keep it there until it wears away. And it's just like,
and if it gets stuck on your shoe, that's like one of the worst things that can happen to a human being.
ew, it's so
tough.
bad. I quit chewing gum
Just do
5 years ago.
mints. Just do a cough drop.
But it's good for people who are trying to avoid eating. People love gum. Like I used to eat gum to instead of and I was addicted to it, and I quit I think 5 years ago. And the one thing about quitting gum, first of all, it's like you just have to learn to just figure something out to do with your body when you're not chewing gum all the time. Because some people are addicted to gum for sure. It's like a cigarette, It's like the meal's over, I'm putting in gum. It's like resetting my brain.
Better than a cigarette.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's what science needs to do. You need to invent gum that you can chew, and then when it's done, you can just eat it. You can just swallow it.
Yeah, people do that. People do that, but also you would just it would have to change. Like
the way that gum is.
Because you would just want to swallow it if it was edible right away.
Yeah. There's got to be a switch you can press. Or you know what you can do?
Press.
It comes with a little powder packet. And you undo the powder packet and then you drink it.
Do you think is anything worse than undoing a powder packet? Like when you dump those in your waters, like it gets everywhere. It seems like there's Coke on the table.
Like opening a flower bag. Yeah.
We got to go to break. We have so much more to discuss.
Man, I wasn't paying attention at all.
No, I got it. And we're back.
So it's the new year, and we did this last year, and I think we should do it again. What are the things, not resolutions per se, but last time we did, what are the things we want to not do?
Oh.
That way you can't fail.
Oh.
Unless you do it.
Well, yeah, that's
They're like the reverse resolutions.
Like
we talked about remember this reverse resolutions from last year?
I don't remember now.
Yeah, I barely remember.
I
can't even articulate it.
Yeah.
But it was like, here are 5 things I will not do in the year 2025.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, I like this.
And like obviously like smoking cigarettes or something is impossible, but like you can say like I am definitely not going to binge watch an entire season of a show in one day.
Okay.
Something like that. It's easier to accomplish.
Okay, I think I've got one.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
No.
Okay.
I haven't thought about this at all.
After the TMZ thing, I was like, what would make this, what would have made my heart not sink? And I've talked about this a million times. Gossip is just such a great way to connect if you don't have anything else to connect with someone over. If you like are lacking in creativity, if you're lacking in a real connection, it's like a fake connection based on needing to shit on someone else. And it also creates I know people who I talk shit with talk shit about me. There's no question in my mind. It makes me feel a little unsafe to ever be truly authentic with them, even though I'm not like very cognizant of, like I'm not like, it's subconscious, but I would like to be a person that, like my friend Rick Glassman. If one time I tried to talk shit about someone we both mutually knew, that was just like, it was a friendly talking shit of like, did you see that? Oh boy, that was rough, or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to, that's my friend. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'd like to be that person.
Rick Glassman.
I don't want to make people feel weird about like you're a bad person, but like it's just a way to do it, to be like, well, I like that person, I don't want to.
That's good because he's purely honest too. So if he was talking shit, we'd know it was like so true.
Yeah. And so
him having like policy of not talking shit is very good.
I utilized it the other day. Someone wanted to talk shit about someone doing poorly on something, or like said that they weren't good or something, and I was just like, I actually love that person. Like I just had to. I didn't want to like make everyone feel weird, but I'm just like, no, I like them.
Yeah.
Like or empathize. Like, yeah, I've bombed on something too, or I've been really cringe on, like, just be like, yeah, that's happened to me too. Like
that's easier to do the more successful you get, because they're not hurting you by being shitty at their thing. I have a lot of trouble not talking shit about other writers who are shit.
Right.
And I'm just like, why? Like, just get out of here. I've, as I also have trouble with like lack of perfectionism. I'm a perfectionist, and when someone is unskilled at something and it's just wrong, it hurts me in my being.
Yeah.
And that's the people I talk shit about. Like and I'm bitter also,
but
obviously.
If you're willing to say that to those people's faces, I have no problem with this. That's
in a way,
the difference.
I would be willing to do that if many of them didn't have power over me or something. Like me talking shit about somebody like that's powerful will only hurt me if I said it to their face. Whereas
right, but then you're still not being authentic.
Yeah, that's why I have all these probably pains.
Yeah.
I'm just filled with bitterness. But I was watching Timothy Chalamet this morning. It was part of.
Of course, you were.
There was a text chain that I don't know why you weren't included on it, but it was like everyone was on it except you. I guess we didn't want to bother you or something.
That's nice.
But it was.
I don't need this shit.
But it was.
Bother me with it now, though.
Yeah.
No.
So I think Bob maybe sent out.
Okay, because Brian's been obsessed with Timothy Chalamet since he saw him on Theo Von's podcast.
Okay.
Well,
And rightfully so.
I was on the edge. I was like, I think I love this
Nardwuar?
guy, and then I watched him on Theo Von. No, Theo Von was. Yeah, I think that was the tipping point.
That was because
when
you
I
put it
blinked.
on the big screen just to like do the dishes and have it on the background and maybe listen to it for like 10 minutes. And he left on the whole thing and said he was completely charmed by Timothy Chalamet. He ran a huge campaign during one of our writers' meetings, like be on board with Timothy Chalamet. And we were like, we are not as much as you. And then he knows everything about him, and he's not wrong. Timothy Chalamet is awesome.
No, Timothy Chalamet is amazing. I think my favorite performance of Timothy Chalamet is the press tour he's doing for Bob Dylan, because every single thing
He's
is must
charming
watch.
as hell.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
So what did you
So he was
see?
on Nardwuar this morning.
And Nardwuar is this like kind of kooky guy that
Yeah, it's
older
always
man-
Nardwuar
Canada.
versus, and because the interviews can be a little bit antagonistic because he asks really invasive questions that you don't even remember about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did you grow? Like your third grade teacher said this about you. Somehow he investigates journalism and figures out these things about your past that you have no idea, you don't even remember.
Whoa.
And then he asks you things about stuff you probably should know about. Like he asked him a lot of questions about Bob Dylan, and Timothy Chalamet was on it. But Timothy was on Nardwuar. This was being texted this morning, and he was unbelievable on it. And so one thing he did, this is why I brought this up. One thing he did on it, he didn't talk shit about anybody, obviously. But what he did do is he continuously throughout the interview gave shout outs to people that he admired or respected. So all
cool.
he does is do shout outs. One time, it was even gotten to be like a joke. One time, Nardwuar was like, hey, your grandma grew up in Canada. And Timothy Chalamet goes, yes, she did. Shout out Canada. Shout out North America.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's
That was a joke.
It was?
Yeah, he was joking.
Yeah.
He went, dude, shout out North America. But no,
Yeah, that's a joke.
most of the time he's like, Johnny, like when he's talking about how Johnny Cash was played by a different guy in the Bob Dylan movie, he makes sure to say, and all the respect to Joaquin Phoenix, he was amazing in his.
Yeah.
And shout out. And so he just kind of like always pays homage. And he does it, I think, because he actually is very self-conscious about being judged about being a bad person,
Yeah.
about not respecting. And I think this might be true of Gen Z overall, is they are very aware that shit will be talked about them on the internet. If they're mean, if they say something wrong.
Yeah. There was a video that Emily, I wanted her to edit of my mom and I both dressed for the Last Eras tour in the Taylor Swift Tortured Poets like military jacket, which is the scene where she is marching to The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived bridge. This is my favorite part of the show. And so before the show, I asked my mom to like, let's do this thing where we march down the hallway and like you lip sync it. So I'm like teaching her how to lip sync. So I'm like, oh, we'll like marry the two of us marching. It'll be kind of a fun TikTok. And I sent Emily the footage and I was like, actually, I think you should just like edit the bloopers because it's kind of funny. And so she put together this whole blooper reel of me like telling my mom how to do this and directing my mom. And there's not one point where I'm like, good job, because like every time I cut, I would be like, good, okay, like because I was like trying to keep the energy up. But I just seem abusive the whole time because I'm like, now march, legs higher, like, and I can't put it out because it's like the Gen Z will see this and be like, you're mean to
Yeah.
you, like because there's no part where I'm like, good job, even though I did say that throughout. It's like, and it is so funny because there's so many moments that are funny, but I literally can't release it because I'm like, they'll get the wrong idea about who I am,
Yeah.
and like because I'm like, no, look a little bit more sad. No, mom, like there's like a little bit of like a brattiness in my voice at some points, but yeah,
No
but
praise, just constant like, do it this way, do it this way.
but I like next time I know, like just put that in, like
Yeah.
leave it in. I was just trying to make editing easier for her, but I'm like, next time add in, don't do it don't do it just insincerely, but like leave it in because otherwise you can't use it because
Yeah.
Gen Z is very like they're
well,
into
you were
like if
just
you're mean or
acting
not.
like the person who's probably making the next Taylor Swift right now.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, like
Abuse-
just
like,
yeah.
That's how you make a Taylor Swift.
No, Taylor Swift did not get made by her parents
Yeah.
at all.
But who was it?
Her.
She abused herself.
Yeah, she bullies herself because
Yeah.
she puts her. Wait, what's the Eminem line? I bully myself because I make me do what I put my mind to, and
Yeah.
I'm a million leagues above you. ill when I speak in tongues. I'm almost memorized.
I know,
this
you
is
were
Rap
doing
God?
it the other day.
Rap God.
Rap God.
I'm-
close
Are you
are
gonna wait? When are you gonna debut Rap God?
I bet you Chalamet
You
knows
don't
it.
even understand how hard. Like when I started this journey to memorize Rap God,
Yeah.
the first couple days I was like, I'm never gonna. It's literally impossible. Like
It's
it felt kind of like Dancing with the Stars, where I'm like, I can't do that dance. Like
Yeah.
there's no fucking way. Even though it's like not that. But Rap God truly is so fast, so hard, and I'm like 80% of the way there. Chris walks in all the time on me practicing, which is kind of embarrassing because he's like, shouldn't you be practicing the globes? But I feel like it's helping me to practice
I
saying
mean,
words fast.
I think it
or-
helps
You
your
are-
creativity.
I mean, yeah, you are like nailing these are all new jokes that you are nailing the lines and stuff.
It helps me memorize and get cadence down and like rhythm. Like it's just like it's just switching up something. Like I gotta mix up my goals.
Yeah,
a
well, it's
little
also
bit.
probably good for your mental acuity as you age.
Yeah.
If you were speaking Rap God, how long do you think it would be?
Well, Rap God is
Like, if you were just talking.
Just talking Rap God.
you
But
think
it's-
it's
I
over
think
an hour?
no.
No.
It's I would say it's probably
4
25
hours.
minutes.
25 minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
I would say it's even longer. I mean, it's so many fucking words.
It's so many. It is so many words. I think the song is like 6 minute long.
Yeah.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. Yeah, that's the top
6
of the
minutes.
song. Yeah.
It's a 6-minute song.
If you haven't heard Rap God, you got to go listen to it because it's just know that I've almost memorized it all. I can do each part, but I can't do like there's one part that I'm a little struggling with, and it's not the part you think. I've got
Can
the
you do it a
Yeah.
cappella without the
yeah,
music?
yeah. I've been doing it
Whoa.
in the shower a lot. Like
I
once
almost
you
wanna
start
hear
listening
it.
to it enough, it like gets into your brain. But I think I'll debut it. I'll probably put it on TikTok at some point. But it does say the F word a lot, the other F word.
This is amazing progress. I remember a few years ago you were talking about having trouble memorizing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yo, yeah, that was
I have
hard.
trouble with that one still.
Just
I don't-
that one.
Yeah, I don't know
verse.
why.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of pressure on that. This is the new Star Spangled Banner, by
Yeah.
the way.
At the end of every year, you memorize a new song.
But back to like being worried about like people thinking you're nice. Like that is that is interesting that Gen Z is like aware, or
Yeah.
like the famous people coming up are aware of that. Not reading the comments really frees me, but it kind of does make you. It's like I don't get to see any of the good stuff. I don't get to interact with people.
Do
I
you
don't
like
get
hearing the good stuff?
yes. It's nice. It's like Emily writes to me like J-Lo said
Yeah.
this slays or whatever. Or
Lots
like
of famous people commented on the Empire State Building.
yeah.
post.
And I think Emily told me about a couple of them. I can't remember though. It doesn't land. I
Yeah.
don't think it really lands.
Well, I did. I shared a link to everyone except you. This is a very common thing now because
That's okay. You don't want to bother me, but
Well, this wasn't. I don't want to bother you. This was. I know that you don't like reading comments, so I'm not going to share it with you.
Oh, okay.
But I shared it with Chris and Bob and Ian and Sean, and I was like, somebody random on YouTube posted your Thursday Night Football from last week. It got 140,000 views.
Whoa.
This is like a random YouTube channel with 8,000 subscribers, so it's not like a big deal. And all of the comments are so positive.
Really?
Everyone's like, someone said, I don't watch the game. I only watch Nikki.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
Yeah, and I was just everyone
kill
was
those,
so
you guys.
overwhelmingly positive. I was like, this is so nice.
I hope we get to do it again. Like
Yeah.
they were really fun. Like that was just the kind of thing that I'm like, I hope there's time in my schedule to do that in the fall. I think I'll be gearing up to tape something in the fall, I think.
Yeah.
And so it'll be tough. But like, they're not. The beauty is we don't have to write until we get we have to write a little bit until we
The
get
Monday. Well, you just kind of send out an assignment on Monday. And
Yeah.
then Wednesday night, the night before, and then Thursday.
there. It's like memorizing Rap God. It takes you out of whatever you're doing. It's just like a one night thing that takes you
Yeah.
out of it, and then you get back to what you have to do.
Sure.
It's like a different. It's
It's a well-oiled machine at this
yeah.
point.
It's great.
Would you have rather have known about the globes, like
Less time.
less time? Do you
It
think
didn't
you could
affect
have
me.
too much time?
No, because I didn't start working on it until Chris was done with the 2 projects he was working on, because he was really going to run it, and I know that he would never let me not start early enough, and so like I just went by like when Chris was like, it's time to go, and
Gotcha.
yeah, I feel like there's just I feel like in really good shape for it right now, and like there's not a part of me that's like, we need one more week. Like I think there's been that for me in specials where I'm like, God, one more week I could just fine tune some stuff. And then I just asked for another week, and then it's always one more week for a special because it feels like it's just an hour of material. The Golden Globes is like 10 minutes, so it feels like I'm okay with being like, this is what it is, and I shouldn't have done more, and I couldn't have done more. And also the nominees didn't come out until the 9th, I think.
Yeah. I think even later.
Yeah, no, it was the 9th. It was the day after the last eras. And then
that's how you know.
That's how I know.
This was actually 478 days after the last errors, so I know that.
And also, yeah, it's like I just feel like you just don't. What was the other thing I was going to say about taking? And I think about, like, I remember, I'm sure it's been said a million times about SNL, but Bowen Yang was saying about SNL that, like, the most frustrating part is, like, you can't perfect it. Like, you write these sketches on a Wednesday night and you run them on Saturday, and, like, oh man, if you had another 2 weeks to rewrite and punch up and think different things about what production, more time to produce it and put it on camera, what could it be? But you just don't get that. That's what it is. And that's what this is. Like, you don't get that. Like, this is...
I don't think we would have benefited from an extra week. I think we maybe would have suffered from an extra week.
Yeah. I mean, I do that every time I have too much time to do my makeup. It goes from looking perfect to disgusting. Like, it can ruin makeup just by, like, one more little thing. Let me just... And then it's...
Oh, God. What a metaphor for life, too.
Yeah. So it's like, I think there's a perfect amount of time because I'm getting to the point where I'm like, we're starting to take out jokes from the practice because I'm tired of saying them. And it's like they're diminishing returns. And the best thing is like I thought, like, you know, based on, you know, Anya and Matt's reaction on the road like 3 weeks ago, like an A+ set, like, oh my God, this is going to kill. We've beat all of those jokes.
Pretty much.
All of them. All the jokes that were like our A+ of our original and maybe second and third, fourth drafts.
Yeah.
Are now like our D's in the set because the rest has risen.
If it's on a curve.
It's great.
I don't think if it's on a curve, it's a D. I don't think we have lower than a B+.
No. They're all. I agree.
Set.
There's maybe 1 or 2 B+ jokes, and the rest are A's, and then 1 or 2 A+, which is like what you want. You can't have all A+.
The scary thing about the monologue for the Globes is, unlike the roast where you have a better picture, you don't really know how the audience is going to respond in the room. Yeah. And so no matter how good we do in these
that's
clubs,
why I'm going Jets game, the first TNF, where they were screaming at me.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to see... I think it's somewhere online. It's me at the first game. It was the Jets and...
Well, yeah.
Eagles?
The Jets won.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a big deal. We were in New York, right?
Yeah, it was Jets and...
Might have been Eagles.
Patriots?
Might have been Patriots.
I think it was Patriots. Yeah. And the Jets won, and I had to do my first... Thursday Night Football like roast, and the crowd was screaming, not listening to me at all, like literally 10 feet away from me,
chanting Jets because they won.
Sauce Gardner, sauce. Like Sauce is behind me. They're trying to get an autograph, not paying attention that there's a broadcast.
It's only
whatsoever.
the second time that someo's yelled sauce at you during the show.
yeah, exactly. When I spilled A1 all over me. No, it was. It was chaotic, and I just had to like look down the barrel of the thing and just deliver it. That's slightly different than the Globes. I think the Globes, the worst case scenario is I'll go back to Cabo the story I told on Jimmy Kimmel, where I bombed in front of billionaires. That's going to be more the vibe because it was well lit. They felt uncomfortable to laugh in front of like people that they were like trying to be cool in front of, and it was jokes at their expense, kind of, and they were worried about each other. It was more that vibe, and that is where I'll go to in my mind because I just plowed through that. Like they didn't know I knew I was bombing.
Well, different from Cabo though. These people at the Globes are going to be expecting a comedian.
Yeah,
and
that's true. It's
and
surprise.
there's a precedent. Yeah. Especially, you're not going to be as offensive as Ricky Gervais. Yeah. So it's like, I think that they'll be pretty pleased. It's just a matter of like, are they listening? Are they talking to people at their tables? That's the tough part.
I actually got a DM this morning from someone who's going to be at the Globes.
Okay.
And asked me, I can't probably say who it is because it would give away a presenter, even though I don't think that like, who really cares if I give away a presenter, but I can't.
It's Luigi.
But it's I think the nicest person... I think it's probably one of the nicest celebrity reach outs I've ever had in my life, of someone who is checking to send me their script that they're going to write to present, to run by, to make sure it doesn't step over any of the jokes I'm doing.
That's incredible.
Because if it does, they will just rewrite jokes. That's what
is it a comedian or an actor? Or comedy writer?
Comedy actor. Comedy writer.
That
actor.
is amazing.
Like the
I cannot wait.
menchiest mensch of all menches.
Okay, now I know who it is.
It's I mean, it is.
Yeah.
A mensch can be anyone, but it does. It
Well,
is very fitting.
well, a
for
mensch
who
is a
this person-
Yiddish word.
Yes,
Yeah, so-
but I could call a goy a mensch.
You can
Cat
call
Williams,
a goy a
I
man.
think.
Yeah, so that's Cat
I
Williams.
do it
You
all the
wouldn't
time.
give your Cat Williams
it's
as a
Cat
mensch.
Williams. But it was so nice. I read it to Chris this morning because it was like the first thing I saw when I woke up, and we were just like, wow. He's like, can I just email you my jokes? I'm like, yes. And also, I'll rewrite mine. You are
Yeah.
on the hierarchy. Like, but what a kind thing. And this person is like. You would already think that this person is as good as they are.
Yeah.
And so it's just,
Is it
you want to get out
Malcolm
the
Gladwell?
Akinator?
Is it Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah, he's presenting at the Golden
I'll get out the Akinator. I mean, I already know who it is. So I
Oh,
think,
really?
or-
Wait. Could go like this. See if you got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you?
I saw him.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah.
I think I saw him.
Yeah. It was such a nice thing, though. And I really
Yeah.
appreciated
Do you
that.
think any part of it he doesn't want you to step on his jokes?
Yeah, I mean, I think
There's
that's
a good collab there.
it's both, but he literally
let's
said,
find the
and I'll
negative in
write
it."
new jokes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
you
will
know,
write
well,
new
to be
jokes.
fair, to
I'm like, I got a
Colin's
joke for
point-
you.
Oh shit.
Remember the joke that we had referencing him? Defying.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I might throw it to him. We're not using it.
Go ahead,
Or
yeah.
maybe if I'm introing him, we would
might
use it. Yeah.
Is it the? Well, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah, yeah.
'cause I think I remember it.
Yeah.
But to support Colin's point here,
I like when you call me Colin.
Yeah, I
Colin,
do too.
he is going after you, right? So
He's
any
going
joke
after me. Oh yeah.
That's
or,
what
or
I'm- that
this
was my
person,
point, yeah.
man or woman, who may or may not be Jewish, is going after you.
Yeah, he's checking his jokes.
Yeah. So like, if you are doing a joke that's similar to his, that actually hurts him more than it hurts you.
But also, like, he could through the production he's dealing with get it to me that I need to change my joke because
Oh, 'cause he's so
blah blah blah.
powerful.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he probably could do that. Like he's more famous than I am. But,
I mean,
but
yeah.
it wouldn't seem like
he
it was coming
directed
from him.
Goodfellas, so I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the power.
So the fact that he reached out,
That
like,
mensch.
yeah, it is checking his jokes, but like, yeah, it's not all just about me. But he literally goes, "I'll write new ones."
yeah,
So it's like
Well,
that's just so cool.
It sounds pure.
He's
Sounds
the
nice.
best.
Yeah,
I really wish I
I've
would have
never
been
heard anything
following him.
bad
I would
about
have
him.
bet you $1 million I was already following this person. It sucks
Oh,
so much when celebrities DM you
no.
because they definitely see like
Yeah.
it says follow, it doesn't say
And
follow
then you gotta
back.
follow back, and then they.
But were they following you, or did they just start following you?
I think I don't know. I didn't check.
Okay.
I didn't
okay.
check.
Well, there's no need to. It's petty
uh,
bullshit.
There's another thing that when I come across like comedians, like new comedians, who I'm like, this guy's really funny. He's like, in his late 20s, early 30s, and they're not following me. I truly get offended.
Yeah.
And it's not even like I'm like, what the fuck? You think you're better than me? It's like, oh, this guy doesn't like look up to me in any way. Not that anyone like, I don't think I'm hot shit, but it's like. You don't think like you don't even want to be friends with me. It's more that like
Well,
you haven't heard I'm a nice person that you maybe want to shoot a follow to just to like.
I'll try to back these people up.
Please.
At their level.
Well, I mean, I do the same thing. I didn't follow this guy, so I get
Sure.
it. Yeah.
At their level, it's really important to have a good ratio. So, they might check in on you, but like if you can't just follow every famous comedian because then you look like a loser.
That's a really good point.
Once you have 100,000 followers, and then you can have 3,000
Honestly,
following.
it made me like him more.
Yeah,
I was
there
like,
you go.
this kid, I kind of want his approval.
Yeah.
What's his name? He's really funny. I'll give him a shout out. You're not following me, but I just discovered you today. And I think he's friends with like Emil. I've heard people tell me about this kid. Fuck, where is he? I just
Is it
looked him
Timothy
up.
Chalamet?
No. Oh, some kid Tommy.
Oh, Tommy Brennan.
Tommy Brennan.
He's great.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he's very nice.
I
too.
just saw like
the
one of his
nicest
clips
people.
came up for me, and then I just went and watched like a bunch. Like I was just like, okay, that one was hilarious. Let's see if he can do it again. That's fucking hilarious. Like I haven't missed with him
Let me
yet.
see
Yeah,
his
he's
picture.
great.
He's so
New
And he's
York?
very
he's
handsome.
a cutie too. Yeah,
Is he New York or LA?
he's New York.
Oh, he's got that jacket.
You've met
Yeah,
him
he
before.
wears
with
really-
Me, I think.
he
yeah.
really?
Yeah, he used to work for Cameo back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When we were
wait,
doing a
I
show.
remembered
yeah.
him.
There was the outdoor show in L.A. and he came up. he was very
I've been on like
complimentary.
I've been on calls with him for
yeah,
Cameo.
yeah.
And he doesn't even follow you?
No, but that's okay.
Did you ever do Cameo in earnest?
Yeah.
And then, are you still on it?
No, I might be because I just like got tired of doing them.
How
because
many
it was-
were you doing?
During pandemic, I was doing a lot, but it was like I would say probably like the height of it was for a couple weeks. I was doing like I would say like 20 a week. Like it was adding up, and it was just too much
how much
because
did
I
you charge
would make them
per?
personalized, and I would like
3,000.
write songs for people. No. I put mine at like $10,000 just so, or maybe 1,000 just so people would stop ordering because I couldn't take myself off. I didn't know how. It's all making sense. He was the cute boy.
From Chicago.
From Chicago with the girl who has blonde hair too.
Yeah.
She was also. They were both so nice.
So he lived out here and he didn't get that much traction. Then he went to New York.
Okay,
and now
kid Tommy, follow him.
How many followers? How many following?
76.8 thousand followers, following 2444.
2,444.
Yeah.
Okay, so he should be following you with those numbers.
What the fuck, Tommy?
Yeah, if
you
he's-
know
Are you
me.
sure
We've been
you're
on
not following
Zooms
you?
together.
That's very weird.
He's
that he's not
following
following you.
2,500 people.
Are you sure?
No, because I followed him this morning for the first time, and it didn't say follow back.
He's following 2,500
You guys, I don't
people, and
wanna
you're not
talk
one of
about
them.
it.
How can
Click
you?
on follow.
How
Click
is there
on-
No, he's
20
not follow. It's okay. He probably is now because he probably saw it come through.
Well, once he hears
Let's
this clip,
see.
he's gonna follow you. But how could you follow 2,500
I don't
people?
think it's mine.
You want me to
This kid
text
is-
him right now?
No.
No,
We can,
I'm kidding.
he'll eventually hear about this, but he's
I don't even think I
hilarious.
could think of
Oh,
2,500.
following you.
But this is new, dude. This is new.
I don't know.
I swear it's new.
So like,
I'm very surprised by that because he's not
Okay,
the kind
maybe
to
he
be
was,
like.
but I definitely thought that he wasn't, and I definitely noted it as like, man, I wish this kid like thought I
Yeah.
was funny because he's
he
really
opens
funny.
for Kelsey,
He has
and he opens for
Kelsey-
like Kelsey.
Cook.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I was like,
And
I
Becky Robinson,
I'll
so-
bring this kid on the road. He's really.
He's
he has
very
twice as many
female-friendly.
followers as me. But I only follow 375 people. If I had his following, I would probably
I would never
have less
think
than
about this
1,000.
at all. Why don't
Because
everyone
people
stop
look at
thinking-
it.
Who? No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Well,
they
then
don't look
those
at it
people
for
are
you.
losers.
They don't look at it for
But
you.
I've never been like, oh my, even when I didn't have that many followers,
If I
just
had-
follow who you like.
If I had
Stop trying to
40,000
look
followers
cool.
and 10,000 following, no one
you're
would
not-
book me.
But dude, you don't need to follow 10,000 people.
used
You
to
can
think
follow.
that, but I'm not like that
60,000
anymore.
No one
following.
cares.
I'm following 80,000 people and I have one follower.
No, but I know a lot of
Just
can take a
be
break
you.
comedians
Just
that.
be yourself.
I can write for literally anybody. This is what I say. This is my quote. I can write for anybody's voice except one person,
Yourself.
myself.
That's really interesting.
It's a curse.
I disagree with you on that though. I think that like your stand up is very in your voice.
Well,
And I feel
We've
like
talked
even when
about
you
this.
write
We've
for
talked about
people,
this.
I just watched something that you had a hand in writing, and
Yeah.
I could pick out each thing that you wrote because I know your voice. I
Okay.
could write for your voice.
That's the thing.
It's dog shit.
Yeah, I love that bit.
Wait, what do I was gonna do an we have to break.
have to break,
I'll
yeah.
come back with my impression of Brian when we get back. I was gonna try to do an impression of you last night to Chris because I was like. And I was like, I go, what do you think a Brian Frangie impression, what word would it start with? And I can't remember it now, but it was like, there's only one word possibly that Brian Frangie would, if an impression of him would start with. And now I can't remember what it was. Percentage-wise. Like, it was something like that. It was like some kind of just a little, like I don't know, like not factoid,
well,
but
that would be like Adam Conover.
yeah,
like,
I mean, you kind of have that in you. Yeah, but it's not like
I don't know if I like that.
no. I love the way you talk. I can pick it out now. It's nice when you have that kind of stamp
Sure.
of how you operate. or
Now,
how
when I
you write.
said, just to be clear, when I said I don't know if I like that about being compared to Adam Conover, it's not because I don't like Adam Conover. I love Adam
Yeah,
Conover.
you wanna be original.
It's because Adam Conover is Adam Conover and I'm not Adam Conover.
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
I do hate when people follow zero people.
Kuh.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the only way I give it empathy.
That means we know you have a fake account, you loser. It's not like you aren't doing anything on.
What do you mean?
Like, we know that the person has if you're following zero people, you have an account where you're following everyone you want to follow,
Oh, yeah.
and you're literally just doing this to look
Oh,
cool. It's
gotcha.
like that doesn't make you look cool. It makes you looking like you're trying to look cool.
The only way I empathize is
jealous
I
of
do
it.
know someone that does it, and it's because they're too in their head about comparing themselves to other people.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
that
that comes from a place
They're not a
of
loser. I love you.
No.
Yeah,
there are
they're
others
good.
that are losers that they can't. Well, not.
Whoa,
I'm sorry, I
whoa.
But they
pointed.
really-
I did not mean to
Losers.
point. No, but it's
Yeah,
a
you like
difference between
shoved
300.
that word loser onto Brian.
Yeah,
basically.
percentage-wise,
You
you're a
passed them all.
loser. No,
But what do they really not look at Instagram at all? Like nothing comes up on their feed?
I guess you get suggested.
Well, I did that
videos.
for Apple Rankings Instagram. I only follow 5 people on that, just like 5. I think you're one of them.
That's funny.
And then Hamish and Andy, and then like the Sweet Tango Apple Company or whatever.
Okay.
It's the Milt.
There are other people that follow like 2 people, and it's like a random like building, and then their mom.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
something like that's even.
Yeah, you can be funny about
yeah.
it, but I just think that if you're, I just don't like this like trying to curate the way that you like, like not being able to enjoy content or support your friends because you're trying to look cool. Like
Yes.
you're not trying to like.
I really do think it makes a difference.
But I mean, yeah, if it does, it does.
At your
I can't
early
argue that.
stages. Once
Yeah, I
you
don't
get to
think
100 or 200,000 followers, you can easily you can be following 2,000,
never thought about it.
3,000 people, and it doesn't matter.
How many people? I literally don't know how many people I'm following. It might
I
be a
think
bad
probably
luck.
3,000.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, 3151.
Yeah, and so that's probably everybody you want to follow. You're not holding back on anybody there.
Except the guy today that I started like, I wish I would have been following him. There's a lot of people that you know what I learned about myself though? Because I went back to try to find a video that I couldn't find that I like. That's the most annoying thing about Instagram is you cannot search memes. Like if it's popping up on your feed, you can't type in, you know, chart about dogs looking at
Yes.
you and dreaming.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to find that little fucking lie that you
I don't
saw.
think that exists.
So
You gotta make that.
why can't you? I just hate it. So I went back to go, oh, maybe final thought. I go, maybe I liked it. I probably did.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the way to find it. So I went to my likes.
Whoa, you can do that?
Yeah.
What?
First of all, I save
on Instagram.
Yeah, there's
likes.
You can see your history of your likes.
Whoa.
Maybe this is something for people over 10,000 followers. I don't. But you have that over that, right?
Yeah, I have 40.
Okay, so I don't know. But you can look at your likes. I don't be liking a lot of shit. Like I liked
Yeah.
like 5 things in 2 weeks, and I'm like, am I being like stingy with my likes? Like I almost
yeah.
felt cool. I'm like, am I like a cool person that's like, no,
Nah.
a like from me means something.
Timmy Chalamet would be liking a lot of things. I'll tell
Truly,
you.
I
I
don't.
think the more famous you get, probably the less likes go down.
But I didn't know that I was not
Like
giving out likes because
stuff.
I like stuff. It takes me 2 seconds to go.
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah,
boom.
I like that.
I thought I was doing it. So now I'm being more liberal with my
Yeah.
likes because I assumed that I was liking things. It's in the same way that I assumed I would be following this person that I
It
am a
brings
fan
you
of.
to think about it this way: you have a unique power as a famous person to bring joy to people's lives
And to like
by
support
liking
the
them.
algorithm and like help them get more views. Like
Yeah.
I need to comment more on things. Like I'm trying to comment more on
Yes.
stuff and like and share it and like I wanted to post one of Tommy's clips on my Instagram, but I haven't posted it on my story like in a day, so it would have just been his alone. Like I just felt like I don't even. It would have just. And he's not following me, and I've like never. I felt like I had never met him before, so I was just like, I can't. I'll do this later once we're friends. I'll share
Yeah,
his stuff.
yeah.
But I also, I talked about it on the podcast today, so that
I'm
was
all about commenting now. I comment all the time on things, even if
Yeah.
it's an argument. I'm over it. I'm over being like, I don't want to say my opinion. I don't want to get into an argument with a troll. I'll just say my piece, and it's like it's been great. I love getting
really
likes
wanna
on
do it.
comments.
Sometimes
Oh,
I'll
it's so
say
fun.
yeah.
I'll like leave one and then it'll have like 2,000
Yeah.
likes. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, what?
Yeah,
But
This
then
is
I'll go.
blowing up
I'll
from
do.
4
I'll leave a
months ago.
funny comment on like a bigger comedian's thing, and it crushes.
Yeah.
Like, I have one comment
Oh.
that has like 3,400, but it gets
What
more
is it?
likes than I'd get on mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is how big this comedian is. Where
Who is it? What did you
It
do?
was Shane Gillis. He had a photo with Donald Trump, and I was like, this is like Trevor Noah posing with Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
got like 3,400.
Yes,
and I'm
yes.
like, this got more.
Yeah.
I was
Loved
very
and-
proud of a comment that I made on there. I was on Twitter. I'm even doing this on Twitter.
Damn,
even though
I don't even have Twitter
I don't
right
tweet
now.
at all, but I'll comment.
Yeah.
There was Kirk Herbstreit,
Oh,
who
yeah.
is yeah
Who does
yeah.
the
TNF
TNF.
and with Al
talking
Michaels.
shit about
Play-by-play.
Okay, so you know this. Can you explain it? Because I'm kind of forgetting.
Well, he was talking shit about the countdown, right?
Or Ohio State or like
Yeah, and Shannon Sharp got very angry. Or,
One of the-
yeah. I didn't do a good job explaining it because I actually don't know much about the story.
Okay,
I just know that.
Well,
much.
he was like kind of critical of some football team that has a huge fan base in college football, and we also may remember that Kirk Herbstreit has a famous dog that he
Yes.
would bring to all the games, and it recently died.
Recently passed away, yes.
So one of the fans of the team that
Who
he
he
was
was talking shit about.
criticizing tweeted out, "Why don't you go pet your dog?" Which I found to be one of the most obscene, offensive things I've ever read on
He
the
does
internet.
have a new dog on the road with him.
Yeah, but
But
that's
he
not
was
what he
talking-
meant.
I know.
Was
I'm
he
just
saying like kill yourself, like go to heaven?
No, he's
like,
saying
die?
he's just trying to hurt him by saying like your dog died.
Street.
Yeah.
I kind of took it as like you should go die because that's the only way you could pet your dog.
I guess it could be that too,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I just
Doesn't
don't.
matter.
I do
It
not
was just-
tolerate someone bringing up someone's.
Good for
dead.
you. Go.
So I tweeted just pure list, straightforward. I just said you're an asshole,
Great.
and man, it just. Every single person that likes it, I'm like, yeah. Thank you.
Love that. I almost
I used to
didn't.
not do that. I used to be like, I'm not going to engage with people like this. I'm not going to say my true opinions, but this guy,
No,
you're an
needs to know.
asshole.
Yeah,
I do it
just-
on TikTok sometimes because I'm just like, no one's gonna. I just feel anonymous on TikTok
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit, so I'll write comments sometimes.
going
and I'm
away,
like, I'm
yeah.
like right out of Reddit. Like I feel
Yeah.
bad doing. Like I just feel weird, but I'm just
Reddit's
like,
really personal.
Oh, I
get it off
almost
my
went
chest,
fucking
like-
nuts the other day on an Us Weekly post, which, listen, Us Weekly, we're not looking to them as the forefront of like, even celebrity journalism.
Yeah.
Like we know that they're like,
No.
but they're not as trashy as like, to me, they're not as trashy.
I
They're-
purely read Us Weekly for international
Yeah.
policy news.
yeah.
They're not for me. They're not as trashy as like a I don't know, like some of the other tabloids. I can't think of the names of them, but I just like I've been in Us Weekly. Like I think they're uplifting celebrities. They're giving you like a very like watered down like we love Hollywood and everything's great. I mean, it's not like you're not getting truth bombs there, but they had like the whole thing of Justin Timberlake in the harness where it looked like his penis was small or whatever. Did you see that?
No.
And then he had a new T-shirt. He got a new shirt to cover his penis.
Okay.
And then they call that out.
I'm sorry.
crazy.
It's so fucking rude.
It is.
And then the comments because of the Britney Spears and everyone and the Janet Jackson of it all, like everyone feels like it's okay to just pile on Justin Timberlake and not like him and body shame him. Like it's as nothing. What he did to Britney and Janet or whatever you think about that has nothing to do with his penis size. But making fun of someone who might look like they. First of all, I think that penises look small when they're not hard. Like that's just a thing that happens, especially when it's tucked up in a harness. And first of all, if he has a small penis, who gives a fuck?
That might be the reason why he was mean to Janet and Britney is because he has a small penis and he feels bad about himself.
And why does he feel bad
down.
about himself? Because we have a culture that constantly makes fun of guys for having small penises and feels that it's like acceptable to do that when
Yeah.
really it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't say anything about your manhood that you have a big dick. It literally, any
No.
woman.
But it's good to have a big hulking dong.
Well, some women like it, but guess what? Like, it's absolutely not necessary for to be a real man in bed and to really pleasure a woman. Like, I'm sorry, I used to have a bit about it, but I took it out of my act because I just felt like it wasn't worked out enough. But my point, it wasn't even funny. My point is that lesbians have satisfying sex lives and they don't have penises at all.
Yeah.
So what are we? And they like penetration.
Yeah.
If you have a penis size that you don't like, just use toys, and your woman will. If she needs a big dick, like just use toys. But also, you don't really need a big dick, and also, it is not okay to shame. I don't care who he is to make it about. I don't even like when people are like Trump has a small dick because it's like that is not something that we should judge people's character by at all
No.
or shame them for. It's
Why
something
am
they
I crying?
can't help. It's bullshit, and it creates this is where incels come from because they see women
Yeah.
are very outspoken about dick size
Yeah.
because they know they can
And
be because if
balding.
any guy goes that's mean, oh you have a small dick, and so men can't even defend themselves because it'll seem like they have a small dick if they do. It's this like perfect thing that women feel like they can just attack men on, and I know it comes from a place of women feeling totally attacked on their bodies and feeling like men judge us for our tit size and how much we weigh, but guess what, we've all culturally kind of come together and gone that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's not okay to do.
Yes.
Us Weekly would totally never put up a post about some woman's boobs being too small
vagina
or
looking too
someone
big
being
in a
fat.
harness.
Yeah, like yeah,
it
but
could
for some
happen.
reason it's
Push
totally
it all
fine
in.
to just put this out there. And they didn't say he had a small dick, but they just put it out there
I
so
mean-
that the vultures could just swing in and just start tearing him to shreds. And I'm just like, I just thought it was, and so I put this whole thing of like, I can't wait for this to come back around in 10 years when we say, how did men survive the 2020s? You know how like all the memes are about like, how did women survive the body negativity in the early 2000s? And there's clips of Britney Spears being asked about her boobs. There's clips of Jessica Simpson being called fat when she was a size 4. And it's like all this evidence to be like, we all should have eating disorders. How did we survive? We're so strong. We're going to do that for men, but it's going to be about right now because this is making men hate us.
Yeah.
And I would fucking hate women too if they were found it totally culturally acceptable to talk about my dick size and make it seem like that is an indication of who I am or my worth as a human. I would really implore women to not partake in these conversations about small dicks, not laugh about it, not giggle about it. Talk if you're disappointed by a dick with your friends, talk about it in a closed environment, but don't talk about it in front of other men because they can't defend themselves because then that feels like they're outing themselves as having a small dick, which is somehow shameful because of this whole thing. Let's like change the vibe about it.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of men who would pay good money to have a hot girl say their dick is small on the internet.
That's true. But
There's
if that's what you're into,
yeah,
like great,
And
go in those
JT's
comments.
getting it
But
for
the
free.
most part, it is like really
Also,
harming young men.
harness dick is tough.
we don't
because
know if he's got a small dick or not. He might have a perfectly
No.
huge dick.
I'm sure he has a 6
I'm
and a
sorry.
7
Yeah.
inch dick. He's tall.
Who cares? Justin Timberlake is hot. He's talented. Like no one's gonna kick him out of bed for whatever he has in there. Like, I'm sorry, I don't even care if he has a dick. I would still have dated him. Like, it doesn't matter to me as a woman that like, I don't know. It just doesn't matter that much. You could have a husband with a huge dick, and he could be in an accident and get it chopped off. Okay, so is he worthless?
Oh my God.
Are you not gonna marry?
Don't say that.
But it can happen. It's like there can be penis cancer. You have to have it removed. Like it's not your whole worth as a man. It absolutely would never matter to me. If my boyfriend had whatever he had,
Or maybe
wouldn't.
maybe there's a guy who you discounted as a small dick, and then he gets a disease where his dick grows three times the size, and does that make him now worth more?
To some, culturally it would seem so, but guess what? It wouldn't ultimately at all. And even women who are like, I'm a size queen, I need a big dick. Okay, cool. You're letting a lot of good men go. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're so different than other women. You need a big dick. Like, shut up.
I do hear a lot of like, oh no, it's the motion rather than the ocean or whatever.
It's not the motion. It's go buy a sex toy.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying I hear all these times where like girls are like, it's not about the size, and then I'll see like a TikTok of some guy that throws his cock in some white shorts and it's like bouncing around, and then the videos are all like tongues
a big
with
dick
water.
feels good, but if you don't have one, I'm sorry, just
Well, a dick can be too big, right?
yes,
A dick can be too big.
Yeah.
but it does feel. I'm not denying that it's an interesting feeling, and it does feel good, but it can be too big, and also, I don't think guys should be ashamed of using toys to supplement once in a while if you want it. Like, I'm sorry, like sometimes I don't want, my boyfriend doesn't have 2 dicks and sometimes I want 2.
Damn.
So does he go, I only have 1. I'm not good enough for her. We just get another one in the mix.
And here's the thing about the toys. It's like, it just saves energy. Like it's hard to keep going.
Oh my God.
If your girls like use a toy,
using your hand is a lot easier than your hips. Also for like
it's like using a microwave instead of like boiling water.
Totally.
It's like I can use the microwave.
Totally. I think
bring in as many toys as you want.
Men need to be more accepting of women using toys in bed if they want, and not feeling like it means that they're not enough. And I would say the same for women in terms of like if you're catch your man watching porn and it's like about huge tits and you don't have huge tits, like allow some flexibility of his desire to be outside the bounds of what you bring to the table, but don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And
Allow
also
dick pills.
women stop the small dick stuff. Just please stop.
Yeah.
It's like bad for society. It's like-
2025. That's the resolution for the society.
for
The reverse
society, I
resolution.
really think it's
Don't feel
important.
bad if your boyfriend or husband uses dick pills because it's not about you. It's just
You should feel bad
is
because
about
they're
you.
bad.
Huh?
Oh, I guess you're talking about like Viagra.
Oh, about Viagra.
Not like the stuff you get at a
that's not
gas
about-
station.
Yeah.
No,
Because
that's
those things you
about-
shouldn't take. I think
Which
isn't
one?
that obvious?
The
What?
gas station ones?
Like the pills, the supplements
yeah,
at
oh my
gas
God.
stations
7-Eleven, but-
that
No.
they say
I
make your
take-
dick bigger.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Cialis, I
That's
take.
filled with chemical. That's not real.
And if there's a female, they're calling it female Viagra, but it's not really because it doesn't make you like get wet. It's not chemically makes you get wet. It just like I think makes your hormones change so that you're more horny. And it's been on the market. It's called ADE or something. I'm like, I want it so bad, but until then, go see Baby Girl.
We all saw Baby Girl.
Go see Baby Girl if you want to be a little bit horned up. At least
Yeah.
I was. I felt deeply uncomfortable with how horny I felt during that movie, but it was good. Like
what parts were you horny at though? Like
when she is getting
the milk?
fingered,
Yeah, fingered without. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's like a pillow over her head.
Apparently, she had a real orgasm.
No way.
That's what. a gay guy told me cutting my hair yesterday. He also said
Really?
you were his favorite comedian.
Is he following me?
No, I followed for him.
We got to go. See Baby Girl, though, if you want to get horned up, ladies. And all right, that's the podcast. We'll be back next week. And
Happy New Year.
What was that, Noah? Watch the Golden Globes?
Watch the Golden Globes.
Is that what
on
you said? Oh, yeah,
January
watch the Golden
5th.
Globes January
Laugh
5th.
hard.
Support your girl.
Laugh
It'll
hard.
be for all the men listening, I guess, and women too. I don't know why I said that. Let's just say for anybody listening.
Whoa, I can't wait to hear what you were just going to be directing only to men.
This is going to be right after an NFL wildcard playoff game.
Yeah.
So just keep the TV on.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's it going to be against?
We don't
The
know
game?
yet.
You don't know?
Yeah, we don't know until the playoffs begin.
Is the Chiefs a possibility?
No,
We
because they're
get-
going to have a bye. They just clinched first seed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to have a bye.
Is it going to be another Chiefs Super Bowl?
It's looking like that's
Are you going to
pretty
come out with a
likely.
harness on with a little penis?
Yeah, at the Globes.
At the Globe?
Yeah,
If you got
lower down. For
down.
apropos of nothing. Like, literally no one.
And don't even mention it.
It's gonna be me.
He's
all right.
talented. Maybe
Of
if he had
course.
a bigger dick, he wouldn't be.
I bet he's. Listen,
just
it doesn't
keep
even
going
matter,
about
but I
his
bet he
dick.
is a grower. Like I'm.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Like I wouldn't put that. And who gives a shit if he's not? Like it has nothing to do with how you feel about Justin Timberlake. It literally, it's just you're being mean. And you're making
You're
an
gonna
easy
be
dig about
mean.
some. Be more creative with your insults about make it really about what you're mad at him about, not that. All right, gotta go. Thank you for listening. Don't be good. Bye.